Next on Worcester News Tonight, the driver facing charges in the fatal accident involving a state trooper is released from the hospital. And a Worcester teen is shot in the leg while taking a walk on Easter Sunday. Police now searching for a suspect. Good evening, I'm Andy Lacombe. More on those stories in a moment. We begin at 10 with Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker announcing the state has completed what he calls significant reforms aimed at protecting children. You may remember several high-profile tragedies involving the state's Department of Children and Families happened here in central Massachusetts. Baker says the changes are meant to overhaul the DCF. The governor adds a restructuring of the department has taken place over the last 6 months. Baker says the state has increased the percentage of licensed social workers and has added staff at DCF. Last year, the department experienced a series of issues, including the death of a young girl in foster care in Auburn. The governor says the goal of the reforms is to keep children safe.
And I believe we are building, with the help of many others, a department that can keep kids safe and makes keeping kids safe its highest priority.
A home practice policy is also part of the reforms. It includes requirements for home visits. An Oxford man is arrested after police determined he was drunk at the time of a crash, and both he and his 3-year-old son, who was in the car at the time, were injured. The incident happened just after 6:30 on Easter night in Shrewsbury on Edgemere Boulevard. Police say 36-year-old Manuel Figueroa was speeding when he lost control of his car and hit a utility pole. Both Figueroa and his young son were trapped in the vehicle when crews arrived and needed to be extricated. They were both taken to UMass Memorial Medical Center. No word on their condition. Shrewsbury police say Figueroa faces 7 charges, including child endangerment while operating under the influence. He will be arraigned at a later date in Westboro District Court. Worcester police are investigating the shooting of a teenager. It happened Sunday afternoon in Great Brook Valley. As our Olivia Lemon reports, the incident has some families in that neighborhood concerned about safety.
It's awful. It's really awful. I would not want to be that mother hearing that.
I'm just worried that if something like that happens, my kid's safety. Because my kids are always out in the backyard in the summertime and springtime.
Some parents on Tacoma Street are concerned after hearing a 17-year-old was shot Sunday. Worcester police say the male victim was shot once in his leg. The victim told police he was walking on the street when shots were fired from the woods.
17-year-old male victim. He'd suffered a single gunshot wound to the lower extremity, taken to a local hospital. He's going to be okay, non-life-threatening injuries.
Every couple days you hear gunshots further down, which I don't like.
Police would not say if the victim was targeted, only saying the investigation is active. Carmen Rivera says she's afraid to let her children play outside because she feels the neighborhood is unsafe.
Ever since I was a little kid, you stay away from here. That was it.
Back in the day, I wouldn't be caught dead in here. I mean, there was gang. You'd walk right in the front of the entrance, and that's all you see is people just standing on the corners.
Worcester police say there is limited suspect information at this time. For people who live in the neighborhood, they're hoping the suspect is caught soon. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester police do tell us tonight their detectives are working to determine if the shooting was random. In Washington, D.C. this afternoon, U.S. Capitol Police shoot a man after they say he pulled a weapon at a security checkpoint. The White House and other federal buildings were locked down for a short time after the shooting. The suspect is in custody, and a female bystander suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Capitol Police say the man went through a metal detector at the Visitors Center entrance, and it sounded off the alarm. He then allegedly pulled out a gun and pointed it at an officer. The officer fired one shot at the suspect, injuring him. Visitors were seen running from the building to emergency shelters that were put in place. Now, Congress is in recess right now. Congressman Jim McGovern tweeting out this afternoon he is home in Massachusetts and that all of his staff is safe. He also tweeted his support of the U.S. Capitol Police, saying, quote, "so grateful for their brave service and all they do to keep us safe." A second man is being held without bail in connection to a deadly shooting in Worcester last year. 19-year-old Connor Ferguson of Leicester appeared in court today where he pled not guilty to first-degree murder. Police arrested Ferguson and Emil Encarnacion on Friday for the killing of 18-year-old Sam Castro. Motive for the shooting has not yet been released. The driver of a car involved in a fatal crash with a Massachusetts state trooper was discharged from the hospital late last week. 30-year-old David Njaguna of Webster was released Thursday from UMass Memorial Medical Center. State police say he was driving the car which struck Trooper Thomas Clardy's cruiser, killing him. He is scheduled to appear in court on April 27th. At that time, state police will ask he is charged with negligent operation of a motor vehicle, failure to stay within marked lanes, and speeding. A Holden man is killed in a skiing accident this weekend after suffering major head trauma. 29-year-old Trevor Hennessy was skiing alone at the Cannon Mountain Resort in New Hampshire when he slid into a patch of ice on a curve and went into trees. His fiancée, Haley Norton, tells us Trevor suffered major head trauma and died from his injuries. The couple grew up in Medfield but recently moved to Holden. They've been engaged since October.
And we loved hiking and skiing together and going out on his boat in the summer. He loved life and he loved outdoors, and his skiing was his true passion.
Hennessy was an only child, and he leaves behind his fiancée and his parents, Susan and Chris. Firefighters in Oxford battle flames Monday morning. The fire damaged a home, but crews were able to make an important rescue. Our Andy Madison has a look at how a quick response kept the fire from being much worse.
They called 911, and we arrived on scene with a two-man engine company, heavy smoke blowing out of the front door.
Firefighters rushed to Westview Drive Monday morning after the homeowner got alerted the smoke detectors had gone off in his home.
I called my wife that was close by, and she came over, and she saw all that smoke.
The couple was at work when a fire started on the first floor, but the house wasn't empty.
When I first opened the door, the firefighters weren't here. It was just the police. And I opened the door, and we couldn't get in because it was black.
Sparky, the couple's dog, was inside. She called for him several times but heard nothing. Crews on scene kept the fire from spreading and then searched for the dog.
We did a search for the canine. We were able to find him. He's alive, doing well. The homeowner has him.
A sigh of relief for the couple after Sparky was found safe and in need of a bath from all the smoke.
We're just happy that nobody got hurt. Our dog that is really white and now he's pretty black, it survived.
The cleanup continues, and fortunately for the couple, it wasn't much worse.
The smoke detectors and the call to 911 made a big difference.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Leicester State Representative Kate Camapnale is addressing the issue of student loan debt. Camapnale introduced new legislation allowing employers to help students after they graduate. The freshman representative says her bill would establish a tax credit and personal income tax deduction for student loan assistance. It works like a 401k where employees can make payments to student loan debt as non-taxable income to their state taxes.
People are struggling just to pay their interest every month. And instead of being discouraged, we're looking at recent and local surveys saying that students are feeling, high stress levels or very stressed, how their student loan debt actually changes what they do for lifestyle consequences. And this would actually give them an incentive to pay off their loan versus, be discouraged and default.
Camapnale says most companies offer a 401k plan. This bill would do the same thing, but for student loans. She says it's just an option for companies to take part in. The NCAA hockey tournament at the DCU Center brought thousands of fans to Worcester. The regional here drew more spectators than at any other NCAA hockey site this past weekend. The regional created quite an impact on local businesses. Our Brittany Schaefer has the report.
Businesses close to the DCU Center had a much busier weekend than usual.
The arena confirms between Friday and Saturday, more than 11,000 fans attended the NCAA Northeast Hockey Regional.
It creates a lot of economic impact for the hotels, for the restaurants.
All of our rooms were certainly used up, and they were just a fantastic piece of business for the hotel.
Events always increase business. I would say business was probably up that Friday about 25%.
The Worcester Hilton Garden Inn hosted both the Providence College and the University of Minnesota Duluth teams. General Manager Casey Jones says the hotel did more than $50,000 in business this weekend.
The closest hotel to DCU, it's not even a few steps away, so we are considered the hotel for the DCU Center.
It was a great atmosphere. Everybody was really excited. A lot of alumni coming in, parents, current students.
The DCU Center Director of Marketing, Amy Peterson, says hosting the event puts Worcester on a national level. She says along with the College of Holy Cross, the DCU Center will continue to bid on NCAA sporting events.
It was very exciting with 3 local teams in the tournament, Boston College, Providence, and Harvard. So there was a lot of excitement, a lot of local interest.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester.